Is a physician's salary worth the debt? It depends on what kind of physician you are, to be quite honest, because medical school is going to cost you $200,000 to $400,000 these days in terms of the balance that you're going to owe in debt when you leave, unless you have some sort of special program where you go through the military or some other option like that. And in that case, you're going to be dealing with a mountain of debt that you can go get forgiven with public service loan forgiveness. Now, that option can cause you to pay as little as $50,000 to $100,000 if you get on it right away on your debt, no matter how much you owe, because this program forgives your loans tax-free after 10 years of payments based on your income. Now, if you go that path, clearly it makes sense to be a physician financially. You might have made a better ROI on your time if you had done maybe engineering and not taken out the debt and started earning a lot faster, because medicine obviously takes a very long time to hit an attending level salary, but that's a different question. So a typical physician could expect to earn maybe $150,000 to $200,000 in more of like a primary care type specialty in a big city in an academic type hospital setting. So that's going to be someone like in a pediatric specialty or primary care, something along those lines. Or alternatively, you might make $200,000 to $250,000 if you are maybe an OBGYN. You might have some surgical procedures that you do that are fairly straightforward. Perhaps you are at an academic hospital center, even in a surgical specialty, making far less money because the more procedures the hospital, the less they pay generally. And at the high end of the spectrum, you might have $300,000 to $400,000 type salaries for urologists. Orthopedic surgeons might make in the $400,000 to $500,000 range, and then of course neurosurgeons will make maybe $600,000 to $700,000. And this is just typical salaries that I've seen. You know, you can also make $800,000 opening up a private practice or joining a private practice as a gastroenterologist in Texas. So a physician's salary is super, super wide in the range that exists for it. You can make $450,000 as an anesthesiologist in rural Minnesota, like one of my friends has, or you can make in the low 200s if you happen to work in a saturated location full of anesthesiologists where the labor market doesn't need another one. So a physician's salary is primarily determined upon supply, demand, and location. If you go a place where your services are needed, you will make significantly more money. This is usually in rural areas where physicians don't think that it's quite as fun to live, and because of that, the supply of physicians willing to go there is less, but the demand is the same, and if not more, because people really need the services in some of these locations that are underserved across the country, and you can make more money. And then if your goal is just to make as much money as possible, private practice is certainly the way to go. Even if you have a lot of student loan debt, it's generally better if you plan far ahead of time to go into a higher paying specialty and go private practice. The only exception to that is if you're going in a primary care specialty, it's going to be very difficult to make a massive amount of money additional to what you would make using the public service loan forgiveness program, just because of the fact of all the different hurdles that people have to jump through for private practice these days typically make it the most worth it for people in the highest earning specialties. So if you have a high physician salary or a low physician salary or something in between, we would love to help you make a plan for your student loans. Just reach out to help@studentloanplanner.com. I'm Travis for Student Loan Planner. Thanks for watching.